All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Social 5 University. I'm Kate Drake. I'm excited to be here to chat with you today about some content strategies. We're going to be talking specifically about Facebook content strategies, but a lot of these work for any other social medium as well. So kind of the idea here is that we know a lot of you want to post on your own, but maybe are a little intimidated, don't know what to say, and kind of don't know how to hop in on the conversation. So that's kind of the plan here, is to talk about some ideas and give you guys some inspiration so that you can hop in and kind of get in on the fun if you'd like. So just kind of a quick overview of what we're going to talk about today, kind of the principles of social media and what we're trying to share. We're going to talk about power posting versus problem posting and which one you want to be. Obviously a power poster, right? We're going to talk about some of the different types of content and some tools to increase content reach. So first off, we're going to talk just quickly review some of these principles. And these are things that we're keeping in mind here as we write your content. Now, obviously, most of you are getting a content package from us here at Social 5, and we're posting consistent content for you on a regular basis. And the whole point of this webinar is not to subvert that, because obviously that's what you're paying for in your package, but to give you guys some ideas in case you do want to hop in on that conversation and make it a little more personal and do any posts on your own sporadically. So the first thing I want you to think about is that you want to keep it conversational. It's really about being social on social media. You want readers to believe that the content is coming directly from you, because that's really going to increase your engagement. And the most effective posts have that really friendly, conversational, personal tone. And that's something that we really strive for here when we're doing our content as well, is we want to keep it friendly. We want to make it sound like it's someone they can trust and that it's someone they can relate to as they're reading that post. You also want to encourage engagement. Sometimes you just need to ask people to share. So look for opportunities that you can solicit engagement on your posts. You can do things like invite people to like the post, ask them to share, go ahead and share a comment, something like that. Ask questions, invite response. Those are going to lead to a higher engagement rate. Another thing you want to make sure of is that you're not being too salesy. Nothing will sour a social strategy more than just overt advertising. We're marketers, we're not advertisers. There's a big difference there. So calls to action are appropriate, but you need to have them be fun and engaging and light. The other thing you want to think about here is diversity. The most effective strategies for content have a lot of different topics and tones and formats and images. And this is something that a lot of you have probably heard us talk to you about in your content, is that, we want to have a really rich, broad base of content, because you never know what is going to attract someone. So we're looking for opportunities to include humor, to educate your client, something fun, new technology, anything like that that could be helpful. And last thing is you want to look for creative ways to approach your industry. News stories and how-to topics are always appropriate, but they kind of tend to get overused over time. So looking for things like recipes or photos, pop culture that might relate to your industry, holidays or fun seasons, how does that interact with your business? Things like that can really be fun and are good. And one thing I want to point out here is, we say don't be afraid to experiment. And that really is true. Don't be afraid to play around with something. And, if it doesn't perform super great, then, that maybe that wasn't as huge of interest to your followers. As long as you're following these basic principles and not posting anything too wild and crazy, you're not going to take a hit by posting something new and different. All right, so I want to talk about power posting and problem posting. So over here on the left, we have a company who's a power poster, and the company on the right is a problem poster. And then obviously we don't have you guys on the audio here, but as we're looking at this, I want you guys to think about, why that is. Now, it might seem like Verizon Wireless over here, sorry to pick on Verizon a little bit, but this is their Pinterest page, and all it is it's pictures of their phones, it's got promos that they're running, it's got tablets that they show and things like that. Not very diverse, right? It's very salesy. All it is just stuff from Verizon. This industry over here on the left, I don't know if any of you could even take a crack at what they do for their business. If you want to, feel free to put something in the chat or the Q&A if you have an idea of what they might do. But they've got all this stuff about, this is in particular is a color board that they did on their Pinterest page, and it's all just things that were turquoise. They've got other ones that are, they're a business that's from Texas. They've got a whole section on their page about mason jars and cool stuff to do with mason jars, and kind of taking that whole like Texas front porch culture thing going on. Any guesses as to what they do? Nobody? They're actually a boot company. It's called Postin footwear. They sell cowboy boots. So they do have some boots on there, but again, they've got so many other fun things and have tried to reach out to people in a different way. And the great part about that is that, you know, this way when people are searching for something about, you know, doing something cute with terracotta pots, they're going to stumble upon this Postin footwear page too. So it's really keeping people engaged and giving them more interesting things than just shilling their product all the time. So let's talk about some of the different types of content that are that work well on social media. So the first one is just a simple call to action. You know, these posts encourage you to like, or encourage customers to like your page in some way. They might invite people to leave a comment, like the post, share on their own news feed, something along those lines. We've got a whole, you know, bunch here, and for all of these, I've tried to feature several different types of posts. So I personally liked this one that says, who do you think has the greatest mustache in sports history? We're leaning toward Philadelphia Flyers legend Dave Schultz. You know, so it's kind of a fun thing there, asking people just a random crazy question. Who do you think has the best mustache in sports history? You know, another one is from an orthodontist. It's a list of naughty and nice things to eat when you have braces. And they're asking, you know, tell us what you like to eat that works with your braces. So fun things like that, you know, anything that you can do that you that will invite people to reply, to like your page. You know, feel free to ask them to share this post so that others can see it. Things like that is fine. So another one that you've probably heard us talk a lot about is photos. These posts are all photo driven, and they're really popular on social media because anything that's really visually engaging and just has a short tease that puts it in perspective. You know, you can just share a photo if you want, but we really encourage you to include that caption that explains why you're sharing it, right? And that's what you'll see our Social 5 writers do. You know, we go to our giant image library, and sometimes we just go and look around and see, you know, what fun and interesting photos we have, and then kind of unleash the writers to come up with something funny or interesting about it. Others are more related to your industry or things like that. You know, you can see this one over here on the far right, looking for a rock solid investment. Check out this home. Yes, it's real. So that's obviously for like one of our real estate companies or things like that. So, you know, just really fun, interesting stuff. You can find interesting photos everywhere. And it's always fun if you can tie it into your business. But just remember to put that context in there so that people know why you're posting whatever random photo you're posting. So this is a really great one. We really like this type of content here as well. We call it helping hands. So these posts are making you as a business a source of tips and information within the community. And they're kind of to help the end user solve a problem. So, you know, it's that helpful, useful information that people are going to find really good. So, for example, we've got one here about, you know, kids and teens that get injured while playing outdoors during the summer months. Here's some tips to keep them safe. You know, here's a great one about, you know, how companies tend to find their best and brightest leaving. So what helps keep a good employee at your company? You know, all of these different things. You know, there's another one about tying the knot poolside. So it's, you know, about wedding at the poolside kind of thing. All kinds of different options here where you can take that opportunity to share some industry information that you may have that's expertise and share it with other folks. I know we do a lot of this for like our automotive and insurance clients around the holidays and things like that. You know, sharing posts about, hey, you know, here's something you need to think about when you need to get all your new Christmas presents on your homeowner's insurance. Or, hey, are you traveling for the holidays? Here's how to get your car ready. Things like that are really helpful and really engaging for people, and they tend to really like them and feel that it's really useful, that you're sharing it in an altruistic sense instead of just trying to sell to them. Pop culture is another one that's always popular, and you see this explode on social media, right? We see memes come through all the time about, you know, my husband and I were just talking about last night about that. There was the dress last year or so that was like, some people thought the dress was white and gold, and some people thought it was blue and black. I don't know if you guys remember that. Anyway, but you know, there's all these things going on. Also, you know, with sporting events, with movies that are coming out, all kinds of stuff like that. There's so many pop culture opportunities to reach out to, and they really do act as you know, touch points in our community. So they'll really increase the reach of your content if you take advantage of topics that are popular and trending. You know, we got some stuff about entrepreneur Barbie. Here's you know, stuff about tennis that's going on. Whatever happens to be happening in pop culture right now. You know, but maybe there's a big movie coming out. Anything like that that might relate to your business or that could be fun. Research is another great way of helping out your clients, and again, a way that you can seem altruistic and really helpful to them. You know, you can find some interesting data or research that's going on in your industry, and you can kind of create a conversational introduction to that, and you know, make it more of a tease than as a data source. You know, so you can look at some of these things. I liked this one down here that one of our insurance writers wrote about, do red cars cost more to insure? That's sort of like an urban legend, right? That, oh, it's more expensive to insure a red car. Well, that's not really true. You know, this one I thought was interesting. Same blue dye in M&Ms linked to reducing spine injury. Okay, kind of crazy, but kind of a fun way to justify eating all those blue M&Ms, right? So again, just fun things, you know, whatever might be going on in your industry, it's a great way to put a fun spin on it and share that information. But it also makes you look like an expert in your industry, right? So it's very helpful that way. This is kind of similar to the pop culture one, but this is whatever's in the news right now. These types of posts spotlight news events that are happening in your industry, or how a particular world event is shaping your industry right now. Local perspective on something happening in the world or whatnot. So, you know, here's one that we did for a few actually that we did for real estate, about a guy in Massachusetts paying off his mortgage in pennies. You know, housing prices in your area. This one's really sad. It's an interactive map of neighborhoods hit hardest by the foreclosure crisis. So anything like that that might be going on, you know, if there's a big news event that has an impact on your industry somehow, it can be a really good thing to share a post about. All right, this is one I always love because I like food, and clearly I am not the only one, because recipes and food posts always tend to perform well on social media. And we've actually seen the rise of a few you know, social media sites that only produce food content. I don't know if you've seen those like tasty videos or things like that, but where they make a recipe in a quick video on social media. Hugely popular. So you can either share those, you can find original recipes that you want to share, you can find ones online that just work. That's kind of what we do here at Social 5, is we tend to find ones that maybe work for your industry, or maybe work for a pop culture event that's coming up, like, you know, the Super Bowl or something along those lines. You know, here's one that's got some slow cooker recipes. Another thing about candy apples, you know, just fun stuff. Recipes always do well. So, you know, if you can find any sort of way to incorporate them into your business, or, you know, that are a good match for your business, that's awesome. People always like them, and they tend to get shared a lot. So food is always, I think it's just everybody likes food. They're always popular. And then another great one is, you know, same thing with pop culture, what's in the news. Obviously, holidays tend to be a big deal. Seasonal posts tend to outperform their counterparts on social media. So if you can look for opportunities to tailor posts to specific holidays or fun things in the season, that's really awesome. You know, here's one that we just did a couple of days ago that was green foods for St. Patrick's Day. You know, there's stuff for Christmas, Halloween. You can also go just seasonally, like, you know, spring is coming. Let's get some springtime posts out there, things like that. So lots of options that way. We do offer, if you want to have seasonal posts done, we can take care of that for you. Just shoot us an email over at content@social5.com and let us know, and we can do like generic holiday greeting type posts for you so that you don't have to worry about this if you don't want to. But again, find something fun in your industry that's going on, maybe share it that's related to the holidays or the seasons. Really a fun opportunity. And again, people are tending to get excited about, the coming of spring or the coming of Christmas or whatever it may be, and they tend to share those posts. All right, and last is just the just for fun kind of posts. And again, this is, we really urge you to don't be afraid and have fun on social media. That's what it's all about. It's an escape from everyday life. So try and look for posts that can bring some sort of a smile to your readers. So here's one that we did a while ago that was the slideshow from this year's ugliest dog contest. And again, just, silly, doesn't really have that much to do with anything, but it's just funny and fun. Here's another Star Wars one. Star Wars stuff always performs well on social media. So, if you want to try and incorporate that into your strategy somehow, that's great. This is one we did for an orthodontist that was about the T-Rex had the world's strongest bite. Just silly. Obviously, we're not going to be putting braces on a T-Rex anytime soon. But again, it's just kind of fun and allows you the chance to kind of play with your audience and have a good time and hopefully put a smile on their face. And that's really going to translate into them having good feelings towards your business and wanting to do business with you. All right, so we also want to talk a little bit about how to increase the reach of your content. So one thing we really encourage you to do is to share that content with your friends. Now, whether you do it with the posts that we create for you or the ones that you create yourself, either way is great. But you want to share your content maybe once a week or so to your personal page, especially if your page is young. It looks like we've got a question here. Hang on just a second while I pull that up. Here's a really good one. Are there content suggestions for contacts only on LinkedIn? And that is a really great question. And yes, so obviously LinkedIn's a little more serious and you probably don't want to be quite as playful. But some of the ones I would really suggest for LinkedIn are things like in the news. I would also really suggest, research and data-driven posts that are related to your industry. You can also do some seasonal posts on there, maybe with a more of a business focus of how the season is impacting business and things like that. So there are definitely options there. It doesn't have to be so cut and dried on LinkedIn. I will say that LinkedIn does have a reputation. One of our coworkers and I talk about this all the time, that, sometimes when people start to bring in a little more of that personal agenda or kind of that extraneous type of stuff, people tend to start being like, please don't bring this here. Political posts are a really great example that way. If you post something political on LinkedIn, people are like, please get out of here, don't post that. But anything else that's data-driven, industry-related, news, things like that aren't that take a more neutral stance and are more helpful information. Again, helpful information is never going to go out of style, so that helping hands type posts and things like that are always going to be good too. So I hope that answers your question. Feel free to ask a follow-up if you need to. Anyway, so we really encourage you, especially if you have a newer Facebook page or Twitter page or whatever, to share your content. So this is how to do it on Facebook. You're going to come over to your business Facebook page, and you're going to go down to the bottom and click on that share button. You can see it's circled in blue there. And then you can include a personalized message and you click share, and that will send it out on your personal newsfeed for all of your friends to see. So they'll not only be, hopefully they'll see it on your business page if they've already liked that, but then they'll also see it on your personal page too, and hopefully convert over to liking your business page. Oh, sorry, you can see right there is where you're going to go share. And then you write up your little tweet or your little post. Sorry, I'm still in Twitter mode here. And you can say, you want to share it on which page. It'll give you the option to share it on your personal page, and you just do share photo. Super easy. Another thing you might want to consider doing is a Facebook boost. If you have more than 50 likes on your page, you can give your content an extra boost through a paid promotion. And it guarantees that you'll have your content seen by thousands of extra viewers. Now, we can help you do this if you want, but you can also do it on your own. It's something that's really easy to do on your own. You're just going to come down here at the bottom of your post, and it will have this Boost Post button. So you select which piece of content you want to promote. Images are usually the most popular, followed by videos. But it's best to make sure it's something that has like a purpose, like driving someone to your website or whatever. So you'll click on the Boost Post option that's highlighted in blue down there. And again, this is only available if you have 50 likes or more. And once you click that Boost Post button, you'll see this screen appear. And you can select the amount of money you want to spend to reach your desired audience, and then you click the Boost Post. And these will appear at the top of your friends' newsfeed as sponsored posts. Now, the cool part is, on this one particular one, we went for $30, right? Which estimates that it'll reach 3,200 to 5,900 people. But I want you to look at the $5 spend. And a $5 boost will reach between 760 and 1,400 people. That's a lot of people. And for $5, it really is like amazingly cheap and can really help get that word out. So if it is something that you really want the word out about, something you have a big event coming up or something big like that you want to promote, totally look into boosting a post because it's super affordable and really increases the reach. Very cool. All right. Well, that's the end of what we're talking about today. Anybody have any questions? I'll go ahead and open that up. Now, again, if you are feeling like you want to do these on your own, that's great. If you're a little intimidated and still a little nervous about it, you can ask us for help. We're already trying to incorporate some of these content strategies into your content stream. But if you want to see more of one or the other, just let us know. Shoot us an email over at content@social5.com, and we can put that together for you. Again, we're always open to content suggestions, and obviously we have done a lot of research on this and we kind of know what works and what doesn't, but we're happy to take your comments and kind of shape a strategy with you. This is a really good question. So if you're doing a boost, how is the target market defined? And there's two options here. I'm going to go back to that slide. And you can see over here on this left-hand side that you can either choose to do people who like your page and their friends, which is a great strategy. These are people who already like your page and want to see more about it. Or you can do people you choose to target. Now, the targeting is still pretty easy, but it is something that if you haven't done it before, you might want to play around with it a little bit before you spend any big money. This is where you can start choosing, selecting things like people who search for these certain terms online or something like that, right? Or people who are interested in this particular thing. And you can have all these tag options that you're allowed to put on as you go. So either one it works really well. It mostly depends on which audience you're trying to reach. Are you trying to reach people who already like your page and their friends to get word out to them? Or are you trying to get new people to like your page through this particular post? So that's kind of where you're going with that. All right, any other questions? Okay, well, here at 11 o'clock, we'll be talking about blogs and how they can benefit your business. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, we'd love to have you for that topic. Otherwise, we'll of course be coming back in 2 weeks with some more webinars for you. So we'll see you then. Thanks so much for coming. Oh, we've got one more question, sorry. So what is the cost for you to do this on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn? On Facebook, you can choose the amount you want to spend for the boost. Twitter and LinkedIn are a little bit different. They don't have quite the same boosting features. You have to go with actual advertising, which does get a little bit more expensive. That is one nice thing about the Facebook content option is that you have this boost thing where you can boost just one post, or you can do a full Facebook ad, which you'd spend a little bit more money on, but that's more to drive people to like your website or something like that. So you can kind of determine the amount that you want to spend, and it's all up to you. Facebook is very good about telling you, if you spend this much, here's how many people we guarantee will see it. So that's a really nice thing is that you can calculate it based on that. All right. Well, thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you next time.